Nobody is going to steal your idea. You have nothing to worry about. Your inability to talk about your idea in fear of it being stolen is probably what you should be worried about, not being able to articulate it. How are you supposed to make your idea real if you can't articulate it, even to yourself, huh? Could it be you don't want to talk about it for other reasons? Maybe it's because you can't articulate your idea yet, even to yourself, and if you can't even articulate it to yourself, how is anyone going to steal it? I can't steal blah, 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 blah. That's not even an idea. Maybe it's because you're afraid of how others will react to your idea. Maybe they won't like it. Maybe they won't be as excited about it as you are. Or maybe it's because you actually want to make your idea instead of yapping about it endlessly. And if that's your instinct, that's a good instinct. I don't think that's your instinct, but if it was, that'd be a good instinct. But really? You think someone's gonna steal your idea? Here's a little tip for you, okay? Your idea is worthless. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have any value. It's just a thought. You had a thought, and you got a little too precious with your thought. Uh-oh. Someone fell in love with their own thought. Someone confused their idea for a piece of art. Someone confused a concept for a product. Look, obviously I understand when you first have an idea, it can feel world-changing and mind-altering. And, if it's a good idea, it is some of these things some of the time. But it'll never be earth-shaking and mind-altering if you never make it. It'll also not be as earth-shaking and mind-altering as you thought it was when you actually do make it. It'll probably just be like, pretty good. The 400th thing you make will be mind-altering and world-shaking. You just won't get there if you're too precious with the idea, so precious with it that you'll never make it real. Look, here's the titles for the last 100 scripts I wrote in my notepad. Steal any of them, I don't care. None of you can make any of these ideas half as good as I could have made them. That's not hubris, that's just a fact. This is confidence that I've built up after making hundreds of pieces of art, and it's confidence that stems from the knowledge that the value of an idea is in its execution, not the idea itself, okay? The idea itself means nothing without the execution. I could give 100 people any one of these ideas, and I would see 100 very different pieces of art that were inspired from it. And guess what? If you were capable of having the idea in the first place, other people have already had it if it's a good idea. We are all experiencing the zeitgeist simultaneously. We're all thinking and having the same thoughts and having the same ideas. So if you don't make it, someone else is going to make it, and they're going to make it in a way where you'll see it, and you'll be like, oh, they stole the idea. I don't know how. They must have climbed through my room and read my journal. I knew it. It was my girlfriend's parents. I shouldn't have told they leaked my IP. Without me even knowing, this is the only way this could have happened. I know a guy that spent all day alone in his room making music until one day he had a psychotic break and thought Drake was stealing his songs. Now, I don't know how Drake's stealing songs that have never been released. There's a zeitgeist, and you're living through it, and we're all living through it, and we're all experiencing all these things all at once. But that's also the good news, because no one can steal your execution of your idea, because only you can make this idea in the way that you were going to make it. No one can steal that. It's impossible. And that is where the value of the idea is. It's on the execution, not in the thinking. Your thoughts don't matter until they meet reality. Part of being in a community of trusted friends is being able to share your ideas freely, bounce concepts off each other, sharpen steel with steel. It's kind of awesome and inspiring, and being inspired freely is kind of like an essential part of my creative process now. And if you don't have that, you should get it, because it's really cool and good, and inspiring and being inspired is cool and based. And at some point we convinced ourselves that taking inspiration from others was cringe and plagiarism or something. So I don't know how that got into our heads, but it's not. It's good. Inspiring is good. Being inspired is good. Here's an example. My studio mate Art Chad, he's writing a video about the black pill, and then we're thinking and talking about the black pill, bouncing ideas about trying to understand what the black pill is, and then we do a podcast on the black pill, right? And then we're all thinking and talking about it, and then I have an idea. Oh, is it over for this 12-year-old child as a comedy sketch? And now that's what I'm going to work on, right? It's this kind of having ideas bounce around in a community, in a trusted friend setting. Super important. Very, very cool. Very nice to have. An idea is not meant to be this little thing you clutch so close to your chest until you die a death of despair alone. And then as you're being lowered into your coffin, you're like, this was my idea, mine. Oh, someone stole it, so I couldn't make it. But if I did make it, it would have been amazing. It would have been great. Too bad we'll never know. I got to stop doing social commentary. This is an art channel. Look, get your NDAs ready. If that makes you feel comfortable, if that makes you feel good about sharing your idea, if that's what you need to do, get your NDAs ready. Make your friends sign NDAs. Make whoever you talk about your idea with sign an NDA if that's what you need in order to feel comfortable with your idea. But I don't think when I get an NDA that this guy's really onto something. I think, oh, this person's probably not very good at articulating their concept, perhaps, or is a little overly neurotic about it, or a little too precious with their thoughts, maybe a little afraid of what sunlight is going to do to their idea. And to be fair, reality does do bad things to your idea. Okay, it's perfect in your head, and when it's real, it's going to be very imperfect in a lot of ways. And that's fine, because that's where all the value is. Making it real. You have to interface with reality. You have to compromise with reality. And that is where all the value of the idea is. It's in that compromise. And only you can compromise in that specific way. So no one can steal it anyway. It's fine. You're fine. Don't be afraid of someone stealing your idea. Be afraid of never making your idea. Be afraid of not being able to articulate it to others. Be terrified of not being able to articulate it to yourself. There is so much to be afraid of, rightfully, as an artist. You have no shortage of things to be afraid of. This is just not one of them. Be good enough to be someone whose ideas will get stolen. And then be good enough to be someone whose ideas can never really be stolen, because only you can make them in the way that you were going to make them. Okay? That's it. Good luck.